Welcome to this episode of Coffee Time Doodles! So we all saw the first trailer of Elden Ring at SummerGameFest and I'm so excited for it. I could eat a brick sandwich. So of course I've decided to make an artwork of Elden Ring and please just wake me up in 6 months when the game comes out. So pick up a hot drink and relax and watch the video. Hi! If you know a little about me, then you know that I'm a gigantic fan of Dark Souls and Hidetaka Miyazaki, and I couldn't wait any longer to make a fan art of Elden Ring. Speaking of which, looks like 2021 is the year of badass tall ladies, after the Resident Evil fans hyped up Lady Dimitrescu, that 9 feet tall biohazard vampire lady. Now we're getting another tall mysterious lady in Elden Ring. In the teaser, she appeared to be a pretty important character. We thought that she could be an ally, but in the new trailer, we see her kill a poor warrior that reminds us a little too much of ourselves in the previous games, just one of our 5,000 deaths. And she definitely looked more like a boss fight. Well, perfect! I love fanboying over well-designed boss characters. So our mysterious character here appears to be a woman. I mean, we never know, but I'll just let myself assume. And what really stands out in her design is her shiny red long hair. Speaking of Resident Evil, she seems to have a similar problem and the skin on her left arm and her legs is rotten. Her right arm seems to be a big prosthetic arm that she uses to carry her very long sword. In the teaser, we first saw her with a big empty socket on her right shoulder and then she just plugged back her big prosthetic arm into it. It makes me wonder what her story is. When I watched the big trailer, there were many things that caught my attention, but she stood out again for me with her popping red hair. So I've decided to make her my first Elden Ring artwork. I've been trying a lot of different art styles lately. I'm still in my big exploration phase, and I've been practicing a ton and studying digital art in the evenings. So this time I went with more of a painting style approach, with almost no outlines. Just a classic digital art painting. It's my first vertical artwork in a while too, if not ever. I've been wanting to make more portraits like that lately. It's a bit faster to make than my bigger horizontal pieces where I have to spend 2 extra days on just the background. It makes it hard to post videos fast. One thing that I love about Miyazaki's games, that we find a lot in Dark Souls, is the contrast of desaturated gloomy environments and something pretty. I said it in my previous video on Berserk, but Miyazaki, who is the director and creator of Dark Souls, admits to taking a lot of inspiration from Kentaro Miura from Berserk. The Dark Souls world is a gloomy, vast, nightmarish world largely inspired by Miura's work. And what I love about this setting is that we can spend a long time lost in this mopey environment, and when we find something that looks normal, like a normal flower, the contrast of what is normal versus the general damp and desaturated colors and atmosphere makes the normal looking flower look like the most beautiful thing ever. I love this! There are a lot of clever contrasts like this in these games. You can see in the design of the red-headed boss lady here that there is this exact concept in action. Her clothes are very desaturated colors which contrasts very well with the red hair to make it pop. So I'll try to follow that idea and make her hair pop in the artwork, while making her clothes and the background a little faded. So while we're on this topic, let's cover the things that caught my interest in the new trailer. This new world is very vast. It seems much larger than any other Miyazaki games before. And to make up for that, they are giving us a mount. It seems like we're going to have to travel long distances with our horse, and even battle enemies or bosses while horse riding. This is a fresh new twist to the Dark Souls mechanics. It's a concept I trust. And we can now jump while fighting. Not that we couldn't jump before, but I don't know if we could call that pathetic Dark Souls leap a jump. Nah, it looks more like what we could do in Sekiro, for example, a very action-style jump. So the fighting looks great and pretty permissive. We were able to see many of the bosses. They all looked insane. We saw once more the disturbing boss character with many arms. He seems like an important one. Again, I can clearly see the Berserk inspiration in the boss designs, which is fun to talk about because my last video was about Berserk. And it's fine, that's a great thing. I was wondering if Elden Ring would still be a dark fantasy world like Dark Souls. Sekiro was more straight fantasy in the setting of feudal Japan. So it seems like we're going back to a darker world this time, that will have a lot of spooky shadowy areas, probably a deadly poisonous swamp area for old time's sake, and gory monsters and boss fights. But it looks like there is also a very pretty other side to this world. It's not all darkness like Dark Souls. Much like some other horse riding simulator games like Red Dead Redemption, Ghost of Tsushima, and Skyrim, we're probably going to wander into pretty territories and take some selfies with Horsey. Whenever Hidetaka Miyazaki decides to create a new world, a new IP, instead of giving us a sequel to Dark Souls or Bloodborne, I'm always slightly afraid that he might be bored of his old game style and mechanics and make something completely different, like a casual linear adventure game with a simplistic story thrown in your face like most games. But every time he surprises me with bringing something completely new while still retaining the core of what his fans love from his games. His players expect a challenging game where patience is the key to success, and they expect an interesting fantasy world with a high level of world development. What I mean by this is that anything we see in the background at any point in a Dark Souls game is a place that we have been to already or that we will get to later. It's all masterfully connected. Nothing in the games are ever there for no reasons. I say this all the time, but that's what great game design is all about. Everything from the clothes and accessories on the characters and enemies and in the environment needs to be there for a reason. There's a story behind every era, cities and armors in the real world, so there needs to be the same attention to detail in games for them to be immersive. We already know from previous games that these bosses will have an interesting story behind their designs and environment. Oh, and one more thing that we can see in the trailer is that it looks like we won't be completely alone with enemies in that world. There seems to be neutral living people inhabiting it. It really seems like it will be a merge of Dark Souls games and maybe something more open world like Red Dead Redemption. If done right, this will be an amazing new approach to Miyazaki's games. As long as it's very challenging and that the world is well crafted, I think none of us fans will mind the more open world style of exploring. It's funny because a lot of exploration RPGs come out self-proclaiming to be Souls-like, but they're always too casual to earn that title. I don't think Monster Hunter World is Souls-like at all in that respect. I don't really like attributing any game with the Souls-like title actually. Let's leave it to Miyazaki's own games. Alright, I have to say I'm pretty happy with how this artwork came out. I didn't know I could do the digital painting style before, so I hope that I'm improving. I'm practicing so hard right now. I'm really trying to get better over time. It would be cool to see where I'm at in like a year or two from now. I promise to keep making YouTube videos. This is just the beginning for me. I really want this to become a thing. I'm excited to have a little place here to just be myself and to just express myself with those videos. If you remotely like this video, please consider subscribing because I'll make a ton more videos like these and probably tutorials too at some point. And thanks for listening to me fangirling over Elden Ring and the Souls games. I believe we'll make a lot more artworks for these games in the future as they are a huge inspiration for me. To follow my content, you can follow me on Twitter or join my live streams on Twitch at this address. Alright, I'll leave you here and I'll get right away on the next artwork in the next video. So thanks for watching.